What's good, Sub Snow Dub family, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be going over the very last episode of Haikyuu to the Top Part 2. You guys know me, you guys know Casey. Welcome back, Wes, our permanent guest, basically. And just before we get into the episode, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you're up to date with us. And boys, let's get into the episode. It was a crazy one.
You know, we predicted this, what we were going to get, right? We knew last week we were going to get the end of the match. Mm-hmm. This week it's going to be kind of like a fan service wrap-up episode.
Yeah.
I was disappointed, though. I wanted to see more of the teams.
Come on, bro.
We got a little hint at Mr. Bokuto at the end there.
We had to see some.
Bokuto's feeling good, bro. That's all I'm going to say, dude. My guy's on fire right now.
That's pretty much all we had to see, right? Like we basically just saw Bokuto in his match, and then we saw Bokuto at the end. But that was like nobody else from like the Japan youth national team, nobody really else. But I guess we had to watch Nekoma during the season though, so like we got something.
Yeah, and that's the end of So Dope. Sorry, bye. I'm kidding. No, but that was pretty much the episode, right? But the episode starts off with like just a replay of the twins quick and Kaguma Hinta blocking it. But it was actually in slow mo, right? We get to see the slow-mo of then we see Hinata and Kageyama just like on the floor in shock of what just happened or just exhausted. We see the whole team swarm them, dude, and that's a wholesome moment right there. Mm-hmm. But we also see Nekoma saying that, alright boys, that's our cue. It's time to go.
They're locked in already.
Yeah, we know who we're playing, and that's it. So I assume next season means that it's Nekoma and Karasuno. Yeah, but that'll be pretty fun. I always feel like Nekoma gets this bad like rap because they're so like normal. They just play a defensive play style. They just don't make mistakes. Like I think we said this a long time ago. It's like the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA, right? They just do their thing. There's no superstar players, just a bunch of really good players who work together. Mm-hmm. Wow, that word did not come out correctly, but we're gonna let it rock. But we also see on the other side of the court, we see Inazuraki just like heartbroken. We see the twins saying, you know, I think we messed up too much. We're making too many we're messing around too much is what they said, right? Yeah. That was pretty sad. Like,
yeah, just to add on to that too, bro. The captain's also like, I hate when you guys try new stuff during our matches, you know.
Yeah, but I don't even know how to take. So that was a sad scene. But I guess that's the good thing with Haikyuu too, right? You don't see just the good stuff. You see the other team going through it. Mm-hmm. And then it just pans right back over to Kageyama and Hinata arguing over who made the block. It was their friendship that blocked it, but that's all right.
Yeah, the power of friendship. It always wins in anime.
And it was fun to see. We also see, like, it's still part of the celebration. We see the Shiratorizawa, like, assistant coach calling the head coach over, like, yo, did you see that? Did you see that? Like, Karasuno
and obviously he's watching,
and he's like, obviously he's watching, right? So,
yeah, he did it without even thinking too. It was like he like picked up the phone without even thinking about it. He's like, oh my god, I'm calling him. And then he's like, the coach just answers, blank stare. Like, obviously he still hates Hinata because he's short and he's actually.
I don't know if he hates him, man. To this day,
he definitely sees like
jealous.
some part of himself in him.
I think it's more jealousy.
I don't think so.
This is the second time we've argued about this, and I'm telling you, bro, he likes him.
If we go back to it, the coach is mad because he was a short player and he never got to play though.
But now he's seeing a kid who can play, and he's trying to help him succeed.
He should be able to do that too.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just so jealousy.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, we're both a little right, but anyway, it was cool to see the moment.
It was cool to see.
Yeah, we saw what Hinata went through in that off-season training and stuff like that. But
all right, I'm gonna take over this next part because Tony's read the manga and.
Okay,
I'm not gonna say anything. He's not allowed to say a word, but
okay.
During the at the end of the game, they do the handshakes underneath the net. Atsumu was saying, "I'll see you soon, Kageyama," and then he goes over to Hinata. He says, and I quote, I literally made sure I quoted this when I was doing notes. He says, "I'm going to be saying to you one day," and. They paused so long at this moment in the show, they might as well have just wrote, Atsumu will be setting for Kageyama soon. I know I don't want you to spoil anything, Toons, but like, I'm I'm nearly 100% certain that
I'm just gonna say, Haiku always does a good job of following up with whatever they tease. That's all I'm gonna say.
But this wasn't even a tease. They literally just said, right here. Look,
I mean,
look. Hey, audience.
Take it how you will.
Audience,
I mean, it was
right here.
It was a super cool moment because it was like
yeah.
a truly like top of the like nation setter saying like acknowledging a hitter that is relatively unknown and very undersized that we've become accustomed to that nobody else really knows about, and he's like, I think you're a really good player, and you're so good. I want to set to you, and you could obviously take that as just like competition, acknowledging like you're so good. I want to set to you one day. But then again, like yeah, it's a good use of foreshadowing. Probably, we can only assume that like it was so serious that like it's probably foreshadowing for something, and I can't wait to see that because I think that'll be really interesting to see.
I wonder.
Like you said, sorry to cut you off. It kind of does speak to like that progression Hinata has done over like all the seasons so far. You know, like this isn't just a regular setter. This is the best setter in the entire nation, and like all of Japan. So
is he considered number one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And he's
number one in high school.
And then where's Oikawa?
I don't think Oikawa gets the recognition because he's never made it to nationals.
And he's also like a third year at this point, so it's like he's kind of older now, and like there's like the youth camp is probably the more important people right now that Japan would notice.
That's true.
But like so Hinata it's his first year playing organized volleyball because he's always been that kid playing by himself, right? And he's already being acknowledged by the top setter in high school volleyball, which is very impressive.
But like it was kind of interesting. I assume that's what's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to get that to organize that to happen. Do you get trades in high school? Do you transfer school?
Transfer.
Do you transfer but would Karasuno bench Kageyama for him? Like, there's no way.
Have them both at the same time, right?
Can you imagine double set?
Kageyama can't. They can both spike.
Yeah, Kageyama can.
It could work.
That'd be a fantasy team, right?
Fantasy team. But yeah, so like after like the after game interviews, we also see Kita and the twins walking down some stairs and them saying, "We're so sorry for like making dumb plays at the end, like doing stuff we don't practice." And he's like, "No, don't apologize. Only apologize when you truly feel bad about something." And like it felt really harsh, but like I guess in the context of that moment, it felt like really like him just being disappointed and like. It felt real though. It felt like super real.
It was super kawaii moment. They're
oh my God.
It was very cute to see them be like, like Kita's like, you guys are really good, and it's the reason our team is really good. And then like Osumu's like, we're gonna be so good we make like he said something about like your grandkids proud or something like that. It was just like they really like respect Kita a lot.
Yeah, it was a pretty heartbreaking moment.
Yeah, it was very heartwarming.
I think like you see him at Kita say like one of the players saying, I actually saw Kita smile at numerous points during the match, and then Kita just replied saying, I just wanted to say, isn't my team amazing? And I'm like, let them win. Replay the match. It was like one of those moments where you're like, oh, there's no way. Like, that's all he really wanted to be able to say was that, like, isn't my team awesome? But clearly it didn't happen, and they're gonna have to move on, right?
It's probably my second favorite moment behind the. When Karasuno beat Oikawa's team, and there was like the movie version. If you watch that at the end, there's just a scene of Oikawa and one of his like another third year for that team walking, just bawling their eyes out, walking home because they lost. And it's like Haikyuu does so well with like those moments of like showing the other characters and other teams. Like we've seen Karasuno heartbroken, we've seen other teams heartbroken, and it's so heartwarming, so good.
But right after that, we just see like the aftermath of the tournament day. This is only the second day of the tournament, by the way. So we watched a whole season occur in one day.
It's actually like 2 hours, basically.
Approximately 2 hours, but here we. God damn, it was. But here we are, and we just see the players after a tournament just dead on the floor, like on the bench. We see Tanaka drinking like vitamin water, like we see
It's like sleeping.
sleeping. We see Suki being tired. He's like, "Wow, I'm actually like super tired for once." But weirdly enough, they see Hinata like.
It's like
He's
cracked
like,
out
he's
of
cracked.
He's high. He's high on life on volleyball.
Yeah, and it was a really cool moment. We see Suki saying, he's like, recently I had a moment where I found out like how I fell deeper in love with volleyball, and then right after that, he's like, today we saw someone else fall deeper in love with volleyball, and it was that moment where Hinata like made the save, like after all his hard work of like positioning and getting himself in position to save the ball, that he actually does something proud.
It's crazy because Hinata already loves volleyball more than anyone else
yeah.
in the world, and he's just like getting deeper and deeper into it because again, this is his first year of organized volleyball. Like he's still learning so much, but he's obviously in true anime fashion, like he's OP already. Like
I kind of feel like it talks to the level of like how strong Hinata has like how strong he is right now, because like he could finally fight for himself, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah,
before
like
season 2, like everyone's like Kageyama is the only reason why he's doing this good,
so
but now Hinata's like he could receive, he could hit, he could win those midair fights, like he's kind of become like a complete player. And
I think like you took the words directly from the manga or the anime. You said like he can finally fight for himself. Like that's something that they definitely brought up and said like for a long time he was just relying on Kageyama up in the sky. And now he's finally being able to like find different ways to be successful.
I mean, the guy used to spike with his eyes closed. So yeah.
True.
But like right after that, speaking of spikes, we head over to the king of the cross shot, Mr. Bokuto. We just cut to a scene of him in his game just hitting a disgusting cross shot. I don't even think that's physically possible, the kind of shot he hit. The shot was like right across the net, like right on the ground. It was cool. But we see Bokuto hitting one of those, and I guess during a timeout or after the set or something, he finds out that Karasuno beat Inurazaki.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
Wait, he said he wanted to play the Twins too, bro.
He
This
said
guy, this guy's crazy.
But something about him, bro. The guy is just nuts. I think he's super fun, though. He definitely brings a different tone to Haikyuu.
Yeah.
But it cuts to the couple, or soon-to-be couple, because that was a killer date they took her on. Cuts to them walking out of the arena saying that she's now a Karasuno fan. And we see the girl from, like, a season or two ago, Akina, like that little...
Isn't that someone's sister, I think?
Is Lev's sister? No.
No, the younger one. I forgot who she was.
She's related to someone on that team. Let's just put it that way. I just know her name.
Nekoma's team, yeah.
I know at the end of the episode they called her Akina-chan, and that's how I just remembered the name. But we see her saying that, everyone's calling Karasuno the better team. Nekoma's just this boring team. Like, dude, they also beat the same amount of people to get here. It's just Karasuno just happened to have to play the Twins.
But what's interesting, because I think it's a little bit later on in the episode, we kind of see Nekoma talking about this themselves. They're like, could we really beat Shiro Torizawa or Miya Atsumi's team? And seeing that little bit of doubt creep into their mind,
that was weird. That team doesn't usually have doubt, right? Oh, that's a good point, too. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But we see her saying, you're going to eat your words for saying stuff like that. After that, we see a really cool moment. It was Bokuto is like I think after the match. Actually, I don't know where that is.
Yeah, we get back to the hotel. There's it's a bunch of scenes with we get to see like Karasuno's all watching the replay back on the news.
Thank you.
We see
That's what's happening.
We see like Shimizu and the other volleyball. They're like having a moment in the bathroom, kind of talking. About
can we? That's a weird place to pause, dude. But why is there a window in a bathhouse?
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
That's like some creeper shit. I don't know what to say, man.
Two naked women without window. Like
it wasn't one window too. It was a bunch of them, like across the entire wall.
It's a big old window. Like I didn't know what else to say. I was just kind of like, Cool.
Yeah, interesting.
We also see some Hinata cheeks. That is something. We see something. We also see Bokuto saying that there's no question we're winning this tournament, right? So I was like, ooh.
That was a great moment, dude. Him and the sire like talking, and
he's like, yes, I watched myself 20 times already.
Bokuto wants it. He's like, this is both our last year. Like, there's no way we're going out with like a top 16 finish or something. Like we were going all the way, and it's Bokuto. If Bokuto's mindset is in the right spot, he's damn near untouchable.
During the cross shot scene, I think he also said this. He's like, the setter's like, or the captain of the team's like, I can't get greedy. You have to be methodical when dealing with Bokuto, right? I know he's in the zone right now, but like for him to stay in the zone, I have to be like systematic about keeping him.
Tease him a little bit, right?
So that was really cool to see that, like, there's a player still that scary sitting in the tournament, and now all eyes are on him, right? But we also see right after that is the 30 years of Karasuno, like sitting on a balcony talking about like how the game went, and them on like Sugawa being on like the verge of tears when Hinata made the receive. It's just like a recap of all the highlights of the game. So it was really cool.
The important thing to come out of that was that the third years were talking, like, obviously they're saying like this is our last run, but they're saying like the other teams are always really scary, and they make you in the game, but it's just as good to have people on your team, meaning Kageyama, Hinata, that are just as scary, that push you to want to be better, and they're basically like all three look at each other like we're not going to lose to them either. To Hinata and Kageyama.
That was a cool scene,
Yeah, it's very cool because like obviously like an opponent can push you like so far, but then like your teammates have to push you as well to be better. And I mean that's what it's going to take to win nationals, right? Your team has to push each other. Like everyone has to do their job and be up to the challenge. So I'm excited to see the next game in the tournament.
Yeah,
because we end it with a face-off, Karasuno and Nekoma.
We see Tanaka's older sister and Akina and the tall blonde girl. I think that's Lev's.
That's
Lev's sister, and they have like a little nighttime stare down like the night before the game, right? I'm like, respect the fans. Clearly, there's a rivalry now, right? Like even the fans are upset at each other, and it was just like we get the ending montage, right? We get one of those like of all the highlights
it's like
of the season.
The music fades in, but the animation keeps going instead of just like ending the outro. So it's like you keep watching throughout the credits while the music and like
it was one of those,
and it just like stops
when then
like, facing off right.
We get Mr. No, we get the face off, and then the end credits. This was an interesting end credit, right? It wasn't like anything to tease about the next season. It was just Coach Ukai and like his father, the
original coach.
And he's like, it's not your team anymore, right? It's the players are also the ones who want to win now, and it's just one of those motivation things where you like see.
Yeah, I thought that was really heartwarming, just to like kind of touch on like how good of a coach they really do have, like because Kageyama originally came to that school to be coached under
the
original coach Ukai, right? So just him giving him that little validation, it like speaks a lot to his ability.
I think he said something like, "Thank God you're so bad. You're so bad of a player, but like a good coach."
I think that's why he said you're such a good coach, is because you're so bad at the game.
Yeah.
It was cool. I thought it was a good way to end the season. Since you have some extra time, though, what are you guys' thoughts on the season, rating wise? Because it isn't my usual Haikyuu. Rating.
For me, I'd probably give it a 7 because story wise, I think it was fun. Obviously, we're living with COVID, so that obviously has its own implications in terms of animation. So obviously, I'm not gonna go too hard on that, but that definitely did bring down my opinion of the entire series.
Hold them to it, because we've seen how many series with good animation. So like enforce it. Be like, the animation screwed it for you.
Actually, you're right, because Jujutsu Kaisen has some amazing animation.
God of High School, like we had so many good animations.
You're right, for sure. So animation definitely not up to par, but also I just want to talk about how this was the first time they did make that little switch in the way they animate stuff, like the designs,
Mm-hmm.
it's completely different from the previous season. So
Mm.
I don't know if they'll choose to continue to animate it with the same
Studio?
design next season.
Yeah, I'm feeling with you. Like the animation was definitely up. There was like montages of people that posted on YouTube of like
How
bad like animation on top. Like people are backwards heads and like just things that Haikyuu usually doesn't have. Like every year, I usually give Haikyuu a 10, like without question. Like I don't even have to question it. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just recently, like this new season, just it's an 8. It's an 8 for me, and it's because of like I think the pacing was a little too slow. Like you guys dragged on the story a little too long.
I think the Nekoma episodes kind of
episodes
did it dirty.
Yeah,
I will bring it together. I'm gonna give it a 9. I am not as picky about the animation because it wasn't extremely easily noticeable while watching to me.
Wes, go back and watch the old seasons.
Nope. While I watched it, I didn't notice anything.
Okay.
It all moved fast enough that so I can't really take points off for animation because I didn't pay attention that closely. But I think all of the main story with the Inazuraki match was like 10 quality.
Yeah.
Like everything, like the way the story flowed, the scenes, how some of like the cool scenes were like slowed down and animated, I think were sick. I really liked the whole story there. I think the only reason I bring it down to a 9 is because of the Inazuraki and the slowness in the beginning and like the Nekoma there.
You mean the Nekoma?
Yeah, the Nekoma, like the side episodes just brought it down too much, and it was just one match the whole season with like those break episodes. So I'll give it a 9. I think it was still a great show.
Of course, I'll never not say Haikyuu isn't a great show. It's just I didn't feel it was up to Haikyuu levels of.
Yeah. I hold Haikyuu to like a different standard. It was like this is like the overall series is like a 10 for me. So
yeah, the series is still 10 for me. So
it just wasn't consistent with prior seasons for me.
Yeah, but that's it. I think that kind of leaves subs and dubs of giving Haikyuu 8.5, maybe 8 out of 10 as total, and that's about it. That's it for Haikyuu, guys. We might just be doing 2 shows a week, but maybe not. It depends on what comes down the pipeline. I heard
AOT finally picks up.
Hopefully, yeah. I just can't. I can't review. I don't see any reason that you'd want us to talk about that show right now.
Very slow.
If you do want us to talk about that show, please put it in the comment section below. Also, Boku no Hero starts back in March, so
yep.
I can't wait for that. Anyways, guys, that's been Subs and Dubs Reacts. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.